Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in MVC using repository pattern how to create the CRUD operation. Let's check the final output. Create new. The employee name is Anand an@gmail.com and the salary is 4500. Create. See here the Anand record is added and his salary is 4500. Let's edit the Anand record. Edit. I'm updating the salary 5500. Save. See here the Anand salary from 4500 to I have updated to 5500. Let's get the Anand details also. So here we got the Anand details. His employee ID is 31. Back to list. Let's delete the Anand record. Delete. See, the record has been deleted from this employee table. That's it. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating the MVC application, first we'll check the database and the table name. By the database name is a sample DB and the table name is the employee, which contains 4 columns: ID, name, email and salary. Now I want to implement this employee table in MVC, the CRUD operation: create, read, update and delete using repository pattern. So let's open Visual Studio. For this video tutorial I am creating a new MVC application. Go to File, New, Project, and from the templates I'm selecting Web. From the Web I'm selecting ASP.NET Web Application, and the .NET Framework I'm using 4.6.1. The application name is MVC Repository CRUD operation. Click OK. And from the templates I'm selecting MVC4. Click OK. And here the project is created successfully. Let me close this default page. Open Solution Explorer. Now in this application, the first thing I am adding the ADO.NET Entity Data Model in this Models folder. Right click the Models folder, add ADO.NET Entity Data Model, Employee Model. Click OK. And from the model contents and selecting the first option, EF Designer from database. Next, I'm creating a new connection. I'm adding my SQL server name. After adding the server name, I'm selecting the database name. The database name is a sample DB. Test connection is succeeded. OK. OK. And here we got the connection string, and I'm saving this connection string in the web.config file. The connection string entity is sample DB entities. Click Next. And from the database objects, I'm expanding the tables as well as DBO. The employee table I'm selecting this one. Click Finish. And here the employee entity model is added into our project, into this models folder. And notice here the employee.cs is also added, which contains the properties ID, name, email and salary. So I'm not creating the another class to create the properties. So let me close this one. Now let's create the new folder repository. Right click the project name, add new folder, repository. Now in this repository folder, I'm adding the interface. The interface name is iEmployee. Click OK. And here I got the interface iEmployee.cs. But the first thing, I'm adding the namespace, the models using my project name is a MVC Repository CRUD.modals. And the interface, now in this interface I'm adding the methods to insert the new employee record. Void insert emp record. Now in this method I am adding employee class, which I have showed before, emp. The next one I am adding, when the page loads, I want to get the list of all the employee details. For that I am using iEnumerable class, iEnumerable employee table, get employee. Now I'm creating the update employee table, update emp record, employee class emp, void delete employee record. To delete the employee record, I need the employee ID details. So here I'm adding integer empid. And the last method I am adding the details of the particular employee record. Employee class get emp by id, integer empid. That's it. We have added the methods in the interface to insert the new record, to get all the employee details, update employee record, delete employee record, and to get the employee details of a particular ID of the employee. So after adding the iEmployee interface, let's create a new class for the implementation. Right click the repository, add class. The class I am adding repository employee class. I'm deleting the class, add. Now in this repository employee class I am adding using MVC my project application name dot models. After adding this namespace models, now I am implementing the interface into this class. To implement the interface, we use a colon, which is a inheritance iEmployee. When I create the iEmployee, notice there is a red mark at the bottom. So implement interface, and notice once I implement the interface, I got all the methods. The delete employee record is added, delete employee record, insert employee record is all added here. So we need the functionality. First I am adding to get all the employee details when the page loads. Now first I am adding my database connection entity, private sample DB entities. The object name is the SD. I'm implementing the to get the list of all employee records when the page loads. return sd dot employees dot toList method. Notice I'm adding this return value in the IEnumerable getEmployee method. After that, open Solution Explorer. In the controllers folder, I'm creating a new controller. Right click the controller, add controller name. I'm selecting the MVC file controller with read-write actions. Add. The controller name is the EMP. Add. And here we got the controller also. Notice it's automatically generated the index details, the create method, edit, delete. Now the first thing in the controller, I'm adding the namespaces using MVC CRUD dot models, as well as I'm adding the MVC repository CRUD dot repository folder. This folder into which we have added the IEmployee and repository employee class. Now in the controller private, I'm adding the interface IEmployee. I'm creating an object IEMP. After that, I'm creating a constructor for this EMP controller, public EMP controller. This dot IEMP is equals to new. I'm adding this repository employee class, repository employee, new. I'm adding my database context sample DB entities. Notice here we got an error. To fix this, right click this one, generate the constructor in the repository employee. Click this one. If you notice in the repository employee class, see here the public repository employee is added. So what I'm doing is, instead of I'm deleting this one, sample DB entities, I'm adding sample DB entities. Now switch to the employee controller. Now in this action result index method, I'm writing the code to bind all the employee table records when the page loads. Variable employee list, I'm creating an object. I'm adding this IEmployee interface object IEMP dot. The method name is getEmployee. In the getEmployee method, we have added the employee list toList method. Dot toList. And the return view is the employee list, EMP list. That's it. To display all the employee records in the action result index method. But we need the index view page to display the records. Now before adding the index view page in our project, let's build the solution. And here the project is succeeded. Let's close this output message window. Highlight the index, right click that one, add view. The view name is index only, and the template, the list, the last option list, select that one, and the model class is the employee, MVC employee, the data context class, which is a sample DB entities. and make sure in the options the reference script libraries and user layout page both are checked. Click add. And here we got the index view page. Now I'm adding a new header tag h1 how to implement CRUD functionality in MVC using repository pattern horizontal line. I'm deleting the h2 index at the header tag. Now before run this application, the first and most important thing is we need to configure the controller name in the route.config file. Open Solution Explorer, the app underscore start, expand that one, or routeconfig.cs file, open that one. Notice here the controller name is a home, which is a default one. I'm deleting that one, and our controller name is a EMP, this one. Add EMP, and the action result page is the index view page only, this page. That's it. Now it's time to check the output, Google Chrome. And here we got the output of that code, and notice the header tag how to implement the CRUD functionality in MVC using repository pattern, and the employee table is binded into the index view page. Let's switch to the coding part. I'm stop debugging. Now switch to the repository employee class. Insert EMP record. I'm adding the sample DB entities object name dot employees table dot add method, and this add method takes the object employee entity, this one EMP I'm adding. After adding the employee details, I want to save the changes. Sample DB entities dot save changes method. That's it. We have added the add functionality. After that, we have added the save changes method into this insert EMP record. Now switch to the controller. Notice here the create, we have two methods. One is the HTTP get, this one HTTP get, and the second one is HTTP post. In the HTTP get, in the return view, I'm adding new employee. Now in the HTTP post, we are posting the new employee details into the database. So in the create function, I'm adding the employee class EMP insert. In the try block, I'm creating a variable add EMP is equals to new employee, add EMP dot the name is equals to EMP insert dot name, this object. Add EMP dot the second one is the email is equals to EMP insert dot email, add EMP dot salary, EMP insert dot salary. After that, we need to add the insert EMP record IEMP dot insert EMP record. I'm adding add EMP, this variable. That's it, we have written the coding part to insert the new employee details into the employee table. Now we need to create the view page for this action result. Right click the action result, create, add view, the view name is the create only, and the template I'm selecting the create, the model class, the employee data context class is the same only, sample DB entities. Add. And here we got the create view page also. Let me add this header tag h1, add new employee details. I'm deleting the h2 horizontal line. Now let's check the output. I'm rerunning the browser link. Let's create a new record. Create new. And notice the URL, the page name is create, and the heading is add new employee details. Now let's add the new employee details. Vamshi vam@gmail.com, and his salary is 2424. Create. And see here the Vamsi Gmail is added. Now my next one is when I click the details page, I want to get the employee details of the particular employee ID. Now it's showing an error because we have not created the details view page. Switch to the repository. To get the employee record of a particular employer, I am using the get emp by id method. Return sample db entities.employees. To get the employee details of a particular employee, for that we have a method called find method. In this find method, I am adding this emp object, emp id object. That's it. Now switch to the controller. In the details method, variable get emp is equals to iemp dot, the get emp by id is a method. I'm adding this id. I'm creating a new variable, variable employee display is equals to new employee emp display dot id is equals to get emp dot id, emp display dot name is equals to get emp dot name, the property emp display dot salary, email. The next one is the is equals to get emp dot email, emp display dot salary is equals to get emp dot salary. And I'm adding this object emp display the return view. That's it, we have done the coding part to get the details of this selected employee record. Now we need to create the details view page. Right click the detail, highlight the details and right click that one, add view. The view name is details only, the template, the third option details, the model class is the employee, the data context class is the sample DB entities only. click add. And here we got the details view page also. Now I'm changing the header H1 employee details horizontal line. Let's check the output. Switch to the index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the output after we adding the details functionality. Now I want to get the Amar details. See, here we got the name Amar at gmail.com, and his salary is $12.50. Back to list. Let's check the Vamsi details. See here the name Vamsi, Vam at gmail.com, and his salary is $24.24. Back to list. Let's switch to the coding part. Stop debugging. Open repository employee class. To update the records, we have the method called update employee record. Sample db entity dot entry. I'm adding this emp dot state is equals to entity state dot modified. After modified, we need to save changes. Sample db entities dot save changes method. That's it. We have added the functionality to update the particular employee record. Switch to the controller. In the edit, we got two methods. One is the http get and the second one is http post. So in the get method, I want to display the selected employee records. For that, here we already written the code to get the employee details. I'm just copying this thing, pasting here. Let's delete this written view. Now in the http post, the edit method, I'm deleting this int id. I'm adding employee emp update. In the try block, iemp dot update emp record. I'm adding the emp update object, this one. After update the record, I want to redirect to the index view page. Let's create the edit. Highlight the edit, right click that one, add view. The view name is edit only and the template is the edit. The model class, which is the employee, and the data context is the same only, sample db entities. Add. And here we got the edit view page also. I'm changing the heading, edit employee details H1 horizontal line. Let's check the results. Index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the new output after adding the edit functionality. Now I'm changing the edit Shahrukh. The salary I'm changing 2,500. The email I'm changing shah123@gmail.com. Save. And see here the shark record SHA123 and his salary is 2500 is updated. Now the last functionality I am adding the delete functionality. Let's switch back to the coding part again. Stop debugging. Go to the repository employee class. And here we got the delete emp record. Employee delete emp is a variable is equals to sample db entities dot employees dot find method. In this find method I am adding emp id. Sample db entities dot employees dot remove method, and I'm adding dlemp, this object name. After that we have to save the changes, save changes method. That's it, we have added the delete functionality. Switch to the controller and the delete functionality. Notice we got two methods, http get and http post. Now in the get method I'm creating a variable here, variable emp delete is equals to emp dot, first I want to get that employee, get employee id, get emp by id. I'm adding id, and this get emp by id method I have written to find the employee IDs. emp controller, the return view is the emp del. In the http post, in the try catch block, in the try block, emp dot, the method name is a delete emp record. I am adding id, this one. Now we need the delete view page. Highlight the delete function, right click, add view. The view name is delete, the template delete, the model class is the employee add. And here we got the delete view page also. I'm changing the header text delete employee record, horizontal line. Let's check the output. Switch to the index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the output after adding the delete functionality. Now I want to delete the MVC record. Click delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? Delete. See, the MVC record has been deleted from this employee table. Let's check the final output. Create new. The employee name is Anand, an@gmail.com, and his salary is 4500. Create. See here, the Anand record is added and his salary is 4500. Let's edit the Anand record. Edit. I'm updating the salary 5500. Save. See here the Anand salary from 4500 to I have updated to 5500. Let's get the Anand details also. So here we got the Anand details. His employee ID is 31. Back to list. Let's delete the Anand record. Delete. See, the record has been deleted from this employee table. That's it.